Good evening. Oh, come on now, it's been too long of a year. Good evening. Good evening and welcome to the 91st commencement at Walt Whitman High School, during which we will graduate an outstanding group of seniors from the Walt Whitman High School class of 2021. As the term commencement implies, today we are here not only to honor the academic accomplishments of our young men and women, but we also wish them well as they embark on the next chapter of their lives. We are proud to call them Whitman graduates and hope that we've made their experiences here ones which will make them also proud to call Whitman their forever home. In a moment, I will ask you to please rise as we begin our ceremony with the Pledge of Allegiance recited by GSO President Pamela Carey. Please remain standing as Pamela will also sing our national anthem. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. As we move into the student-led portion of our program, we would like to pause to honor our top 10 scholars for 2021. Students, as I call your name, please stand at your seat and remain standing until all 10 have been acknowledged. Hamza Asif. Grace Buckshaw. Mia Kahl. Aiden Garamani. Matthew Kerner. Margaret Nyland. Daniela Santoyama. Paul Smitelli. Jasmine Tai. Juliana Villela. Congratulations, top 10 scholars. And from this group, I now call up our first student speaker, class of 2021 salutatorian, Grace Buckshaw.
Good evening. Welcome, Mr. Ciapetta and the members of the Board of Education, Dr. Bernardo and the members of the Administrative Cabinet, Dr. Murphy and the members of the Walt Whitman Administration, teachers, parents, family, and my fellow classmates. My name is Grace Buckshaw, and I'm so honored to be talking to you all as the class of 2021 salutatorian. We finally made it! Graduating is a tremendous accomplishment, especially given the circumstances this year. You may be familiar with the famous saying that reminds us that it's not what happens to you, but it's how you react to it that matters. I cannot think of a more fitting phrase to help share just how incredibly proud I am of all that we have overcome and achieved as a grade and as a community throughout the last 4 years, and especially during these times of uncertainty. I'd like to give a special thank you to Dr. Murphy, Dr. Bernardo, our administrators, teachers, school staff, coaches, family, and friends who have worked tirelessly to make this past year happen and who have supported us for so long. We started this year with Group A and Group B, only given the option to come into school in person every other day or to stay home altogether. Some of us logged onto Google Classroom or signed onto Google Meets on the first day of school. Others walked into classrooms finding plastic clips on desks ready to hold sneeze guards, or as some of us like to call them, space shields. We became accustomed to seeing only half of our friends in school, carrying sneeze guards from class to class, and taking tests online from the comfort of our beds. However, guidelines and rules changed, causing us to modify the way of life that we had gotten so used to. Thanks to the hard work and persistence of Dr. Murphy, Whitman administrators, teachers, and of course custodial staff, soon enough, Group A and Group B were reunited in person, all the desks and classes were filled up, and you actually had to show up to school on time to get a good parking spot. Once again, we were forced to adjust and to step out of our comfort zones. Some of us felt tired of having to adapt to yet another new schedule, while others felt relieved just to be back. As I reflect on our 12-year journey through elementary school, middle school, and the last 4 years of high school, I enjoy most the growth, the good times, the wins, and the achievements we share. Our most memorable achievements are usually the ones that require the most preparation, practice, effort, and work to overcome or attain. Personally, these goals are also the ones that made me the most nervous, anxious, and uncomfortable to prepare for and to work toward. Specifically, one of the most nerve-wracking yet rewarding experiences I ever had at Walt Whitman High School was when I tried out for the JV cheer team as a 7th grader. I remember sitting alone in the corner of the mats when we tried out. I was wearing bright blue sneakers, and everyone else around me was wearing white cheer shoes. I didn't have any friends, and I didn't really talk to anyone. Now, 6 years have gone by, and I have been recognized for a few cheerleading awards. I've made some of my best friends on the team, and I feel like I found my voice and really broken out of my shell. Looking back, the decision to try something new and endure the discomfort was a small price to pay for such a rewarding experience. I truly appreciate my coach, Coach Koch, for giving me a chance, believing in me, and working with me to grow as an athlete and as a person to help me become the best version of myself. Now, obviously, we did not all share this experience. For you, maybe it was reaching a targeted score on your SAT exam. Maybe it was going further than anyone expected in the playoff games. Maybe it was pitching a perfect game. Or perhaps it was helping a friend get through a rough time. The list of accomplishments could go on and on for this graduating class. Furthermore, students have participated and led clubs such as Speech and Debate, Robotics, DECA, Natural Helpers, and many other countless organizations. These groups have laid the foundation for us to go on and pursue careers to better and improve our community. This district truly creates the leaders of tomorrow. Our collective achievements are something we should all be extremely proud of. Our personal growth happens at different rates and manifests in so many different ways. The one thing we all share, however, is our calling to grow and learn and become the best versions of ourselves. As we leave this chapter of our lives and prepare to head out into the world, I encourage you all to do one thing: get out of your comfort zone. As the summer begins and you start to lay out the plans for your next steps in your life journey, don't shy away from the big things, the scary things, or the things that make you want to give up. Instead, acknowledge that the feeling of being uncomfortable is likely a sign that you have a growth opportunity staring you right in the face. Reach for it, hold on, and give it everything you've got. As many people say, you will rarely regret the things you've done, but most certainly will regret the things you didn't do and missed out on when you had the chance. Today, it's time to go and let the next class deck the halls that we once walked through. Though many of us will go on to pursue different career paths, this class will be connected by an invisible string forever and always. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome class of 2021 valedictorian Jasmine Tai.
So originally I was going to start off by saying good evening to a third of the graduating class of 2021, but I have the honor now of saying, as your class of 2021 valedictorian, good evening to the entire graduating class of 2021. So again, good evening to the students, their proud families, teachers, Dr. Bernardo, Dr. Murphy, Mr. Ciapetta, respected administrators, and board members. Congratulations to everyone for getting through the past year, and especially to our class for finishing high school despite carrying around sneeze guards or space shields, logging in and out of Google Meets, and not being able to see each other's full faces due to the masks. Throughout the year, I'm not sure why, but I was one of those people who made a consistent effort to recognize our last. Like, this is our last high school badminton game ever. This is my last time driving to school. This is my last time listening to the morning announcements, and this is the last time that I'm using the 400-wing bathroom. Like, you get the idea. Well, taking a look around, I realized another last. I don't think that we'll ever be able to see each other again at the same time like this ever. I thought this was true when we began senior year with Group A and Group B and virtual students, all on top of a day 1, day 2 schedule. But we were so lucky to be able to come back at such a vital moment in our high school careers, that being graduation. You can't recreate the absolute elation I felt when I received the all-capitalized "we're graduating together" text from my friends. This past month really felt like how senior year was supposed to feel like all year long, all for it just to end in a few weeks. While typing this speech, I realized that this was going to be my final high school assignment. See, I'm doing the last thing again. And it was definitely one of the hardest ones. No matter how many nights I spent word vomiting in an attempt to deliver inspirational or motivational words, I couldn't think of anything to say. It actually got to a point where I would choose to go grab a snack, or be too tired from the day's events, or even try to reorganize my dresser just to avoid thinking about it. Because what are you supposed to say to a class whose last full in-person school year was sophomore year? What do you say to a class who hasn't been able to see each other's faces while walking in the halls for the past year? What are you supposed to say to a class who has had to sit at least 3 feet apart and behind plastic barriers in classrooms like Roz's and Latko's, where students would normally be on top of each other because there weren't enough desks? What do you say to a class who almost lost all their senior events until COVID restrictions began to lift in the last couple of months of their time here? Are you supposed to tell them to remember to persevere in difficult times? Always look for the good in a bad situation? What haven't we been told already that we don't already know? I asked myself these questions as I thought about what I wanted to share with you on such a memorable day. It wouldn't do to give the same advice that we've been hearing all year. Then again, I thought, I wondered if I even had enough experience to be giving life advice in the first place. I thought about it and realized, wow, I'm 18 years old and I haven't had my first kiss, haven't been on a date, or driven more than 30 minutes away from this town by myself. And since the 8th grade awards night, I've dreamed of becoming valedictorian, but definitely did not expect Dr. Murphy to show up at my house during February break to announce the news. I always had the nagging thought, the relentless doubt, the uneasy incertitude that I wouldn't get where I am today. I think about how hard I pushed myself through the past 4 years of high school to keep my promise to myself that I could reach the top again. I've wondered if all those nights spent doing homework, studying for tests, and even typing this speech were worth the time. and this is definitely not an invitation or a suggestion to give up on doing the work, but as a teenager, we only have so many years to act like typical teenagers do. And the way that the school year has passed by like no other proves just how precious this time is. We've learned pretty quickly how sudden changes can occur in our lives, but we've also been able to bounce back from the repercussions of them. No class has faced the adversities that ours has, and because of that, we've been forced to grow up much earlier than we needed to, as Mr. Paquette likes to say to me. Disappointment was a common theme of our year, with events being pushed back, some being canceled, and others outright taken out. Despite our lack of a normal senior year, I'm eternally grateful for still being able to perform in some sort of way for my seasonal orchestra concert. I'm still grateful for being able to walk the halls and see announcements for club meetings and to look at the art that students have continued to produce. I'm grateful for still being able to watch the musical and Senior Follies, which were so close to not happening. I'm grateful for being able to show up to games like the football championships and participating in my own games and meets. I'm grateful that we were able to participate in our final year of Powder Puff, which we definitely won in our hearts. I'm grateful for being able to listen to Graz's and Murphy's tear-jerking speeches on the last day of school. And I'm grateful that I was able to see so many people dressed up so nicely at prom as well. I'm grateful that I was able to create and share a book with the grade on yearbook day and to watch VY together just last night. And most importantly, I'm grateful that we're all graduating at the same time right now, as opposed to the 3 separate ceremonies that we were supposed to have. Given that list, I hope that each one of you feels some sort of pride or accomplishment for what we've been able to squeeze in the end of our senior year. The only thing I can think of that I could deliver from the bottom of my heart is a typical Vietnamese blessing or wish for the future, similar to what I would wish my grandma or grandpa on Lunar New Year, because you guys are not my elders. Chúc luôn luôn vui, khỏe và thành đạt trong cuộc sống. I wish everyone happiness, good health, and great success in life. I hope that if any lessons were to be learned from the past 14 months and even the past 12 years in school, it would be that we have to take every chance that we have and to make the most of our time in the present. I found myself realizing that I was experiencing my lasts much earlier than I would have liked. We can always anticipate the future, but that doesn't mean that we're always going to be right. My mom once told me, always put forth your best effort in the things you do. Whether you fail or succeed, you'll always know that you did the best job that you could. So always give everything your all. You never know what may come of it and what time you have. Congratulations again to the class of 2021, and thank you.
It is my honor, my pleasure, and yet my sadness also to call up to the lectern for the last time as principal of Walt Whitman High School, my good friend, Dr. John Murphy.
All right, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm probably going to cry about 60 times. So, as the class has already known, I'm a big crybaby. Hello, graduates, Dr. Bernardo, our Board of Education, teachers, parents, and family members. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our 2021 graduation ceremony. I must say, it's been a long journey to get to this point and to be in person here on stage all together. The obstacles encountered over the course of this year and last year made us all question whether or not we'd ever get back to what we used to call normal. Being able to see all our families together gives me hope that we've turned the corner and that we are getting back to a more normal time where everyone and everything can be together the way it should be at Walt Whitman High School. I have to thank the entire staff here at Walt Whitman for making this graduation ceremony possible through their careful planning and unwavering support in achieving the goal to make sure our students came first, this community came first, and this graduation would happen. So thank you to all of them. Now, students, this is something that has been in the making for the last 18 years of your life. This last year has shown us how important this ceremony truly is. It is not only a culmination of the last 18 years of your lives, but a testament to the resiliency of our society and this student body. To think that a group of teenagers, no more than 18 years of age, were able to push themselves continually throughout this year-long ordeal and still remain successful, upbeat, and positive is a tremendous feat. Now, I usually like to quote Walt Whitman at the end of my graduation speech, citing something flowery, inspirational. It'll probably make me cry. But in my spare time over the course of this year, there was a lot of spare time, especially the end of last year, to read a little bit more the life and works of Walt Whitman, wanting to know what he had experienced during his lifetime. You see, Walt Whitman was born in an age where industry and technology were rapidly advancing. The nation was continuing to expand across the West, enveloping millions of immigrants. Thank you. I don't know if I should duck under the podium. Enveloping millions of immigrants from other countries looking to have a better life, leaving behind the atrocities and disparities faced in their native countries. Also, during Whitman's life, the country was struggling with its own identity, enclosing itself in bitter conflict to ensure equality and freedom for all men and women within the United States. Does this sound familiar? It is amazing to think that almost 200 years later, our country faces similar struggles and issues. During his lifetime, Walt Whitman had experienced many things that we are experiencing today. And it's amazing to think that someone who lived these 200 years would have relevance to us. In learning more about him, I came to read one of his most famous works, Leaves of Grass. There is a passage that I felt truly defined our students and the struggles they have faced this year and will face over their lifetimes. Not I, nor anyone else, can travel that road for you. You must travel it by yourself. It is not far, it is within reach. Perhaps you've been on it since you were born and did not know. Perhaps it is everywhere, on water and on land. What I believe Whitman was saying was that all of us have the ability to overcome and adapt our world and surroundings. We all have that innate ability to persevere and push through obstacles that will continually be in our life's path. Although every obstacle will be different, we have the power in ourselves to persevere and achieve. This road that he mentions is our life path. While there will be twists and turns and potholes along the way, we have been traveling on this road our entire lives because of the choices we have made and will continue to move forward. You may share the road with your parents, your teachers, and even your friends, but ultimately, that road must be traveled by you and you alone. And while we may think at the beginning of our lives that this road is long, we will one day blink and we appreciate those twists and turns because it gave us the strength to reach the end of our journey. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the parents of our graduates. They are the true heroes of not only this year, but every year. They are the ones who pushed you when necessary, held you when you were hurting, and praised you when you needed it the most. Students, I hate to say this, but this day is not just about you. As parents, this is one of the hardest days we will ever face because it signals to us that you are ready to go out in the world on your own, and that child we remember walking to the school bus on the first day of school is now an adult blazing his or her own path. And while you may want to begin this journey on your own, remember, we will always be here for you to help along the way. This day is not just about academics or receiving a diploma. It signifies the end of one stage and the beginning of another. It is really your birth into a birth of your adulthood and independence. And while that's a scary thought for a parent, we are so proud of you and what you have and will accomplish. Now, I must say, this is one of the hardest speeches I've ever had to write. See, I told you it's coming. In reflecting on what has occurred this year and how our current seniors have endured such obstacles, it truly breaks my heart to see what you've had to face. Being robbed of your senior year was unfair, yet every single one of you banded together and found ways to make not only your life better, but each other's as well. But I guess in life we learn from our disappointments and defeats, making us understand the importance of that resiliency and that determination. But how does that translate into a student's senior year? It plagues me every day knowing that you were ripped away from your peers at such a crucial time, and that it is something no student should have ever had to face. A student's senior year is something to look forward to. It is the entire journey at Walt Whitman, including this last year, that truly shaped each person's ideas, lives, and opinions of the world around them. It is the struggles on that journey that have shaped your perspectives of the world and have navigate through them. I guess that's what life is supposed to be like. Life is never supposed to be easy. The trials and tribulations that you face will allow you to learn and grow, not only for yourself, but also through the lessons you will teach your own children, just as your parents have taught you. Knowing that you have overcome so many obstacles and persevered through such dark times have given me faith that the future is bright, and that these young men and women we honor today will make sure that both this nation and our world are in good hands. Selfishly, I don't want to see any of you go. This class in particular has a special place in my heart. What I have seen from this class not only will let me grow as an educator, but as a human being. I could not think of a better class to end my time as principal. The bonds of friendship I think I beat the over-under on the bet. I think they were better. The bonds of friendship that have been made not only amongst yourselves, but with me as well, will endure long past your graduation date. As a principal, I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I will say that these students leaving this year are some of my favorites throughout my entire career. Not because you were good as students or good athletes, but because you're good people. You know how things should and can be and have the strength to change them for the better. And just like your parents sitting on the bleachers, I leave all my hopes and dreams in your hands. I am confident that not only will you succeed in your own lives, but you will make this world a better place. What you have accomplished here at Walt Whitman High School is nothing short of amazing. Please know that while you leave the halls of Whitman, you never leave our hearts. I will always remember you as a class that continued to define the words community and compassion. As you leave us, I will hold on to the memories that we made here, the laughs we shared, the tears we shed, and the sense of pride we felt knowing that we were part of something larger than ourselves. Your influence and compassion will stand the test of time, enduring forever in the hearts of our future graduates and in the traditions you helped continue to sustain here at Whitman. Thank you for an amazing 4 years. You truly have been a class like no other, and I will miss seeing you in the hallways, on the athletic fields, and in our classrooms. But you will always be in my heart. I wish you all the best as you enter the next stage of your life. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, that was terrible. I'd now like to call up someone hopefully does not cry as much as me. Our senior class president, Jake Christensen.
You got yours.
I'd like to begin by welcoming and thanking Mr. Ciapetta and the members of the Board of Education, Dr. Bernardo and the members of the Administrative Cabinet, Dr. Murphy and the members of the Walt Whitman Administration, teachers, parents, and my fellow classmates. I'm Jake Christensen, the president of the graduating class of 2021. First and foremost, I feel it's very important that we all take the time to thank our parents and guardians for guiding us to where we are today. We look up to you as role models, and without you, none of us would have become the men and women that sit before you today. Without your love, guidance, and support along our educational journey thus far, our graduating class could not have been as successful as it was. We cannot thank you enough for everything you have done for us and everything you will continue to do in the future. So thank you, guys. As for my classmates, our last 4 years together have been nothing but memorable, to say the least. Entering Whitman as a freshman in the fall of 2017 is something that I'll never forget, mainly because I was terrified. Not only was the thought of growing up intimidating, but everything I heard about Whitman leading up to the first day worried me. There was talk of Freshman Friday, impossible classes with hours of homework, and what I found to be most terrifying, a teacher who roams the halls of Whitman with a homemade wooden bowl, ginormous spears, and whatever you could find in the back of Whitman. Shout out Mr. Paquette. However, once I got here, the fear quickly subsided, as I was embraced by faculty and enamored by the school spirit. The relationships I have made, friendships I have formed, and stories I will tell my kids, thanks to my time here at Whitman, are something that I will forever cherish and never forget. This is what made Whitman such a special place, and so much different than other high schools. Whitman has special people who invest in us as people first, students second. While of course teachers here care about our grades and the curriculum they have to teach, the most important lessons they gave weren't math equations or breaking down every last line of Romeo and Juliet. Every line. I wish I was joking. But the life lessons they gave us will serve us well beyond our time here at Whitman. The most important lesson I learned is how paramount it is to always treat others with respect and kindness. My time as a member of the Whitman family has taught me that every person has a story. Everyone faces adversity of their own. Maybe we have similar struggles, maybe we don't. But one thing I can guarantee is no one knows exactly what anyone else is going through. Because of this, we can't be quick to judge others. We don't know what others are going through behind closed doors, but what I do know is the impact that a positive person can have on someone's day. And so, class of 2021, my advice to you is this. Be the person to hold the door for others. Give compliments when you see something you like. Don't hold back on anything that could possibly brighten someone's day, because you don't know how much that could truly mean to them or help them through. Whatever your plans are after Whitman, whether that be college, a trade, enlisting in the armed forces, or whatever path you choose to take, I personally wish you nothing but the best. Wherever life takes us, I hope we all strive for success. And remember, strive not to be well known, but strive to be worth knowing. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Whitman.
Thank you, Jake. I'd now like to call up our Board of Education President, Mr. Nicholas Ciapetta.
Good evening, South Huntington. I have good news and bad news. The good news is that we were able to have one ceremony. The bad news is that I tripled the length of my speech tonight for you. Just kidding, just kidding. On this perfect night, it's so glorious to be able to gather together our entire class in a year that has been anything but perfect. What a contrast from last year when we had 9 graduation ceremonies, and it shows just how far we've come in returning to normalcy. The fact that you have endured so much makes your accomplishments that much more impressive. On the athletic fields, the highlights included a perfect baseball game, a perfect golf season, 15 Gold Key recipients, and the first Football League title in over 35 years. In the classroom, 2/3 of our students obtained advanced Regents diplomas. There was a record 165 members of the principal's list, and we had 8 Ivy League college acceptances. We also had 8 Eagle Scouts, 3 Girl Scouts Gold Awards, and 7 seniors decide to join the Armed Forces of the United States. Your athletic and academic accomplishments are only rivaled by the patience, optimism, selflessness, empathy, and strength that you demonstrated over the past 15 months. In the most challenging and darkest of times, the class of 2021 shined the brightest of all. To endure this year, many sacrificed and endured extended hours and tremendous strength. Chief among these are Principal John Murphy and Superintendent Dr. Bernardo. Please join me in thanking them, as well as your teachers and the rest of our staff, for providing steady leadership during this uncertain time. Last year I delivered 9 speeches, so it was a little challenging to come up with one this year. I thought all my good ideas had left me. So instead, I cheated, and I relied on some life lessons that one of my closest friends has taught me. Now, my friend will not be happy that I'm sharing these lessons because he's a bit humble and he's a bit kind, and he doesn't like the attention very much. But I think you'll appreciate his wisdom. Number 1, there is absolutely no substitute for hard work. Successful people are never lazy. If you want to be the best at what you do, whether you're Tom Brady or Jeff Bezos, a doctor, a lawyer, or a school teacher, you must put in the time. And it is always better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. Lesson 2, be kind to other people. It costs you absolutely nothing in return. And a simple, random act of kindness could make somebody's day. Number 3, never be afraid to admit that you made a mistake. It shows strength of mind, not weakness of character. Number 4, which is related to number 3, and is especially relevant in today's Twitter world, where we form opinions instantaneously, certain issues are complicated. They're not susceptible to either black or white answers. Life lives in shades of gray. It is perfectly fine to change your mind or see both sides of an issue. As my friend Billy Joel wrote, the more I find out, the less I know. And number 5, and my favorite, and the person will know who I'm talking about now, leaders eat last. What does that mean? It's something that I've heard a lot over the last 9 years. And it comes from the military, the Marines specifically. And in the Marines, it came from the fact that the officers never eat before their subordinates. I probably didn't fully understand this phrase until this year, but I think the best way to describe it is that it means placing the needs of others above yourself. That's true selflessness. And this might seem counter to everything that happens now with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, where it's all about look at me, but it's exactly what your teachers and your parents and school leaders do every single day. These 5 principles have served my friend well in his personal and professional lives, and I believe they will benefit each of you as well. Now you may be asking, who is this friend I speak of? He seems pretty cool. Indeed he is. The best thing I can say about my friend is that he's also your friend. You may not know who I'm talking about. I'll give you a couple hints. Like the class of 2021, he will be moving on to pursue other interests after this year. Hint 2, which should give it away, he leaves incredibly long voicemail messages that defy the unwritten rule that brevity is key and no message should go beyond 30 seconds. I think you figured out who I'm talking about now. And now that you do, I hope these messages and tenets will resonate even more with you. These tenets have served Dr. Bernardo extraordinarily well as an educator, a coach, a superintendent, a husband, a brother, a father, and a friend to all. In a few minutes, Dr. Bernardo will complete his last official act as superintendent and confer graduation status upon the class of 2021. And then each of you will in turn perform your final act as a student by accepting your diploma, or at least the cover page to it. You'll get that later. Your status will change from student to alumni, and Dr. Bernardo's status will change from superintendent to former superintendent / retiree, though we know he'll be keeping himself busy in different pursuits. You will then both embark on a new beginning, and every beginning inevitably is followed by another ending. Throughout your lives, as one door opens, another closes. Such is the circle of life. But sometimes we get so excited to move on to that next chapter that we fail to appreciate the here and now and enjoy the present. I ask each of you to live in the moment. They go way too quick. Focusing too much on the future may spoil the present. So I ask the class of 2021 and Dr. Bernardo to do me a favor. At approximately 8:29 p.m., the sun will set on this glorious day. And with that, your careers at South Huntington as well. When we play the recessional and you walk off the field for the last time, please take a few moments to savor this chapter of your life and reflect on your time in South Huntington, both the memories you've made and the relationships you've built. And also reflect on the fact that Walt Whitman High School is truly one of the best of schools we know. And please remember that wherever life takes you, you will always be a Wildcat, and South Huntington will always be your home. On behalf of the Board of Education, I congratulate you from the bottom of my heart and wish you nothing but success and happiness in all the days of your lives. Congratulations.
It is now my distinct pleasure and honor to ask this person up to this podium for the presentation of the class of 2021, Dr. David Bernardo.
Thank you, John. Well, I've written dozens of graduation speeches over the past 34 years. There's something a little bit different about this one. In fact, I can think of no group more appropriate to graduate with than the class of 2021, all of you. In some ways, you are typical high school students, possessing the same energy and enthusiasm, joys and sadness, and hopes and dreams as the countless graduating classes to have come before you. Let's be honest, your SATs and college applications cause the same stress and fight with your parents. Your breakups resulted in the same tears and hugs from your parents. Your victories ended with the same smiles and cheers, and in many, many ways, you are another graduating class. However, we all know that the men and women who will cross this important stage in just a few moments have had anything but a typical high school experience. You were the juniors who awoke one morning to find your lives abruptly stopped by this new and elusive menace called COVID. You spent the next year and a half managing the consequences of a bunch of crazy decisions that came from everywhere. And every new concept, theory, and decision that swirled around you somehow made this invisible menace called COVID just a little more frustrating. Somehow through it all, you kept your eyes focused on the responsibilities. You stretched your arms out to those in need. And you kept a little place in your heart for hope and a big place for a lot of love. Now, my graduation address is typically asked students who I've usually known for 10, 12, 13 years by this point, to see and feel the day through the eyes of the parents, those people sitting up there. While I have every intention of doing that today, I also have a little bit of a unique perspective, because in just a few moments I'll graduate with you, and we'll be on to new adventures together. So that reality of leaving with you, coupled with the fact that my own 18-year-old daughter, my baby girl, is going to graduate in just a few hours down the road, well, that leaves me understanding you all a lot and understanding them all even more. You see, I'm feeling the unique excitement that you're feeling. I'm excited, I'm nervous, but won't admit it. That's normal. But I must admit that there's no feeling in the world, there's nothing I could say that can capture what they're feeling right now. Whether they're about to become empty nesters like Jill and I, or this is their first child to graduate, the people in those bleachers are wondering how Little League, training wheels, dance recitals, and spelling lists somehow morphed into college acceptances, military send-offs, and first days of work. You see, they have something that only a parent can know and feel. And you have no idea what it is right now, and that's normal. And it's cool. It's the way it's supposed to be. With your arrival in their homes, with a baby's arrival in any of our homes, which we are never, ever prepared for, even though we swear we are, everything changes. They begin living for you. And they put themselves second. We feel immeasurable joy when you're happy. Experience the deepest sadness and pain that you could ever imagine when you're hurting. We wish we could take all of those away. And we grow together at this parenting thing while you grow into men and women. It's kind of what happens. It's the way it is. It's going to happen to you. And the funny thing is that just as when a parent begins to figure out this parenting gig, just as when we think we have it down, you grow to need us a little bit less and less because you take on more and more of the world yourselves. So we get a little upset in our stomach watching you fly solo because we know with a solo flight comes some falls. But we also know that this is the natural order of things, right? That you saying, how many of you heard this up there? I got this. Well, you saying I got this is normal, even though it makes us nervous because it's the way life's supposed to be. If you don't got this, we didn't do what we're supposed to do. And we know, they know, deep down, that you're going to always need us, but that need slips a little bit more into the background as you raise your own families and carve out your own special place in the world. So I guess I can only ask you one thing right now. Show those people up there a little extra love as the tears flow a little bit too much this weekend. Remember how much their love means, and remember how beautifully, incredibly, horribly tough this moment is right now for them. Because they vowed to protect you, and that protection gets a little bit less as you fly. So now, as I say goodbye to this graduating class, I want to leave you with the same words that have left classes for 18 years. I hope and I pray that you take a piece of South Huntington pride with you into the next phase of your life. I hope you find college life incredibly rewarding and you fall in love with your new school the way this school fell in love with you. I hope you find a career that makes it a pleasure to get up in the morning and keeps you proud every day to go to work. Teachers found that. Parents found that. Now I hope you find that. I hope you meet a person. I pray you meet a person whose eyes you can stare into one day and say, I do. Knowing you've met a soulmate for the rest of your life. I hope you know the indescribable blessing of having a son or daughter wrap their arms around you in bed one day and say, Mommy or Daddy, you're my best friend. I hope you know the blessings of good health. I hope you're close with your own parents and recognize their wisdom for many, many years to come because they won't be with you forever. And most of all, I hope you remember us and keep us in your heart. It's been my pleasure to share in this class, to share shoulder to shoulder with this class, and I will be forever proud to call you classmates. I know that our school, our community, our state, our nation will be a better place with you at the helm. Godspeed, class of 21. Godspeed, South Huntington. We love you very much. Now, Murph, what do you say we graduate these people? All right, let's do it.
I love you too.
Pamela Carey, ESCO President. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Caroline Marie Schramma, diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Jack Sidney O'Laughlin, ESCO Officer, diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Stephanie Lopez Galdamez, ESCO Officer. Jake Ryan Christensen, Senior Class President. John Rodriguez, Senior Class Vice President, accompanied by a family member who's an employee of the South Huntington School District. Danielle DeGarry, Senior Class Secretary. Anastasia Samba, Senior Class Treasurer. Anna Isabel Keller, Senior Class Delegate, diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education member Michelle DiGaetano. Noor Zara Hussein, Senior Class Delegate. Ariana Kalia Levin, Senior Class Delegate. Jacob Samuel Veeder, Senior Class Delegate. Jasmine Ellen Tai, Class of 2021, valedictorian. Grace M. Buckshaw, Class of 2021, salutatorian. Adrián Adames Contreras. Amir Ahmed. Anastasia Akabanitis. Vanessa Alas Castillo. Stephanie Alfaro. Carlos Alfaro Ortez. Roberto Alfaro Ortez. Iris Anariba. Ethan Anglade. Jesse Judith Antuñez Cárcamo. Samantha Nicole Aranguiz. Joshua Aravalo. Amina Arif. Manor Arif. Nilson Artiaga. Harold Asensio. Zan L. Asgar. Hamza Asif. Layla Asasa. Marquise August. Nicoletta Boncherry. Thomas Baranowski. Alexandra Kate Becerra. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Bina Bat Yosef. Pedro Benitez Flores. Isabella May Bermudez. Logan Bermudez. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. William J. Baracco. Jason Berrios Ruiz. Emily Kate Bailaskursky. Grant Kevin Biederman. Thomas James Barilla. Noah Daniel Bitone. Rudolph Blankson. Katie Rhiannon Block. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Emily Basha. Sean M. Bach. Kaylin C. Bohm. Alana Bonilla. Katie Bonilla. Brian Bonilla Diaz. Kimberly Bonilla Joya. Juan Bonilla Rodriguez. Christian Abraham Borgard. Dominic F. Bosco. Delia Jade Boda. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Thomas Richard Breton. Janaea Natasha Brown. Loudest one so far. Jordell Brown. Shannon Y. Brown. Sanae Alexis Brown. Mario Campbell. Terrence Carduner. Sergio Nicholas Carrillo. Jordan Castillo. Tanner Sella. Dylan Sella-Murray. Anna Danielle Cerrito. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education member Michelle DiGaetano. Juan Chamorro. Michaela A. Charles. Jacqueline Chavez. Jack Harrison Chinsky. Erin Christensen, accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Kayla C. Cole. Alexander L. Coletti. Mia Call. Carlo A. Conte Jr. Christopher Contessa. Allison S. Contreras Zavala. Jude Conway. Daniel M. Capola. Joshua Cortez. Shannon Corey. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey, and also accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Mayeli E. Crespo Lemus. Matthew Paul Crocco. Hannah Cruz. Oscar Cruz. Sandra Cruz. Jenna Delamonte. Sophia Elizabeth Dalton. Tyler Jade Daniel. Luis Del Carmen Diaz. Sophia Isabella Del Priori. Carissa Del Colli. Isabella Honor Delfico. Natalie Delgado Pichazaca. Mario Della Vedova. William Dennis. Emma Rose Dermati. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Matthew Desmond. Ashley DiBartolomeo. Daniel DeLeo. Jaden Diaz. Kyle Dixon. Gina Rose Diliberti. Abby Rachel Dinstel. Jessica Dotto. Brooke Donovan. Daniel Jacob Donovan. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Christopher Tyler Doran. Jacob Doherty. Eric Dowling. Alejandro Duarte. He's live on Instagram. Carlos Echevarria. Megan Edelman. Cal Idenov. Manahil Ijaz. Salman Ijaz. Jabari Antoine Elizer. Shantae Ellis. Hector Irazo Barahona. Marina Isabella Irfan. Justin McCoy. Olivia Morgan Evola, accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Isma Farouk. Douglas M. Fasciano. Ilyas Fidei, accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Justin P. Feynman. Josh Fitzpatrick. Jasmine Jazzy Flores. Mario Franco Valdez. Andrew French. Devin French. Ana Fuentes Velasquez. Sophia Justine Fife. Brian E. Garcia. Maria Garcia. Cindy Garcia. Derlin Garcia Arevalo. Aiden John Gardner. Aiden Garamani. Daniel Gavrilo. Devin T. Gaynor. Madonna Marie Getchell. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education member Michelle DiGaetano. Emily Garabaji. Sophia Jamikele. Jocelyn Hiron. Alexander Ross Gletzel. Aiden Glidden. Justin Mark Goldberg. Elena Johora Gomez Alvarenga. Khadijah Gondal. Joseph Gonzalez. Cindy Gonzalez. Yolisa L. Gonzalez Villatoro. Jennifer Gonzalez Saravia. Daniel Granados. Victor Granados Amaya. Luis A. Granados Gomez. Angeli Granados Martinez. Christian H. Granda. Abby Grant. Joseph Andrea Grasso. Aiden Tyler Greenberg. Madison Helene Gresser. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Benjamin Ray Grandal. Tyler Grosso. Adon Guerrero Perez. Caitlin Guevara Avila. Bradley Gateau. Christopher Gurr. Davin Miles. Ruhala Halimi.
Let's go, Gur.
Ruhala, take a picture. Ashlyn Hanley.
You missed one. No. Yes, you did. Who? This one right here. What's her name? Simran Hans.
Yes.
Oh, it's right there.
Simran Hans. Omari H. Harry. Ryder B. Hartman. Liana Marie Haug. Marissa Havacott. Ashley Hernandez. Genesis Hernandez. Jason Hernandez. Bessie M. Hernandez Garcia. Jennifer Hernandez Osorio. Litzy Hernandez Romero. Ashley Herrera. Roberto D. Hidalgo. Peter Human. Timothy Hunter. Piper Elizabeth Huntington. Alyssa Marie Husted. Brianna Lee Acavone. Javen Infante. Anthony Aurelio Inga. Christian Xavier Intriago. Paula Itzep. Firdaus Jalili. Franz Jean Baptiste. Lorraine Jean Pierre. Rafael Jimenez Avila. Matthew Jimenez Bonilla. Jalen Jones. Fatia Joseph. Christopher Juarez Jacome. Aaron Joseph Jurist. Hasina Kakar. Joseph Daniel Kennedy. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey, also accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Matthew Kerner. Arbaz Khan. Hira Khan. TJ Singh Kara. Ryan Kaznowski. Joshua Kimyagarov. Brendan Thomas Kispert. Timothy Klum. Sebastian Koch. Gunnar Crace. Daniel E. Kramer. Brooke Rose Krieger. Rebecca Ann Kurjanski. Richard A. Kurjanski. Hayden Labella. Gil Siegler Lahoy Lahoy. Christopher Lainez. Stephen Lainez Gomez. Jeremy Lands. Alessandra Marina Lela. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education member Michelle DiGaetano. Shirley Leon Vasquez. Accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Hope Audrey Levin. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Joseph Libardi. Devin Linden. Jasnea Lopez. Jefferson Joel Lopez. Juliana Lopez, accompanied by a family member who's an employee of the South Huntington School District. Fatima Lopez Montoya. Catherine Lovo Rodriguez. Elena Faye Lunt. Kyle Lutz. Franklin Fuentes Canales. Richard Morel. Sabrina Adum Hurtado.
Diego Machado. Carla Machado Alfaro. John Michael Maggio. Nicholas McGuire. Nemai Mahmood. Katie Maldonado. Kaylee Maldonado Espinal. Jose Maldonado Fuentes. Giovanna Rose Manganiello. Jessica Mangles. Christian Magnus Manny. Christian Mardiaga Cabrera. Audrey D. Maradiaga. Yedin Marcia Buezo. Jennifer D. Martinez. Joe Martinez. Sophia Martinez. Christopher Vincent Martino.
Scott Martin. Just call his name out. Scott Martin.
Scott Martin. Okay, I'm good. Dalton J. Marzigliano. Matthew Travis Masaya. Juan Mateo Galicia. Thomas Breon Matthews. Nicole Catherine Matila. Kyle Thomas Mayer. Justice McCarthy Delk. Luis Alejandro Maurizios. Jacqueline Olivia McCready, accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Sabrina M. McAvoy. Michaela McGivney. Dana McGowan. Michael Joseph McIndoe. Caitlin Rose McKenna. Christopher William McNally. Alexa Hope Mediate. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Delmi Mejia. Jocelyn Melendez Gaitan. Kimberly Scarlett Melendez Segurima. Olivia Melhado. Kay Ann Mendez. Joseph Mandolia. Anthony Mendoza. Kevin Mendoza Molina. Luis Alejandro Orellana. Alexandra Miller Henson. Hunter Austin Millman. Daniel E. Monteroso. Andy Morales. Ashley Caitlin Morales. Blake A. Morang. Justin Morera Flores. Edsel Moreno. Jordan Moreno Cantanilla. Marvin Morgas Kazun. Michelle Rose Mullen. Chloe Murphy. Leo J. Musitano. Jack Thomas Nealon. Margaret Elizabeth Nealand. Juliana Wynn. Allison Nieto Reyes. Annabelle Jumi Novinsky. Isabella Melania Oliva. Jay Orellana. Victor Lawrence Ottaviano. Christopher Owens. Kyle Patrick Owens. Daniela Medina. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Isabella L. Parlante. Sanjay Paul. One more. No. Glennis Pena. Christy Pena Mejia. Catherine Marie Pensa. Angela Lynn Pepe. Max Hunter Peretson. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Carla Perez. Rovin Perez Olivares. Thomas Perez. Kiara Perez. Chelsea Perry. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Kamaya Person Gunter. Isabella Philippe. Giovanni Philippe. Caroline T. Phillips. Joseph Pachata. Antoinette Pommels. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Jacob Pipota. Jeffrey Ponce. Jimena Ponce Guedon. Saul Ponce Uloa. Jonathan Portillo. Benon Portmore Davies. Julia Posilico. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Susanna Kibir Pritu. Sophia D. Probst. Ryan Christopher Prost. Jolene Josie Quiles. Johanna Ramirez Brizula. Patrick Joseph Martin Quinlan. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Christian Ramirez Mateo. Thank you. Ashley Ramirez Uloa. Saul E. Ramos. Urban Gabriel Galdonado. Zach R. Rankold. Cameron Rose Repetti. William Reyes Alfaro. Stephanie Reyes Cruz. Cesar Reyes Reyes. Jose Reyes Reyes. Jonathan Patrick Rigel. Julia Rose Ronaldi. Anthony Rios. Alexia Rivera. Christian Rivera Mojica. Oh, thank you. I got one. Oh, that's it. Joseph Antonio Robert. Isaac Rodriguez. Alex Jesus Rodriguez Gutierrez. Andrea Romero. Jose Romero. Sergio Romero. Brandy Romero Lino. Jennifer Rosales Alas. Leah N. Rosario Marcelino. Gabrielle Nye Rose. Madeline Rosenfeld. Shane Ruff. Ryan Rummel. Tyler Rutolo.
She was supposed to announce that, but she wrote it afterwards.
Oh,
It's all right, don't
okay.
worry about it. Just put it this way.
Stephen Ryan. Daniela Abigail Sagastizado. Wendell St. Jean. Kristen Salas. Nicholas Salas. Freddie Salguro Morales. Kevin Sanchez Saravia. Kelvin Sanchez Torres. Daniela Ann Santoyema. Vincent Vito Santoyema. Ashley Saravia. Marvin Saravia. Emily Saravia Uloa. Brianna Rose Scala, accompanied by a family member who is an employee of South Huntington School District. Joseph James Shiner. Paul Lawrence Schiller, accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Christopher Schindler. Benjamin Milo Schlansky. Jake Schultz. Zoe Marie Swatner. Christopher Scorticini. Luigi Sizame. Joseph Shafak, accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Arav Shah. Raina Shapiro. Michael Sheff. Sophia Cieli. Ileana Miranda Simonov. Olivia Mae Simpson. Deshaun A. Small. Paul Joseph Smitelli. Daniel Smith. Amanda M. Smuss. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Eridge Sohal. Colin J. Source. Jeremiah St. Croix. Sean A. Stasko. Jenna Lynn Stockfetter. Faith Marie Stone. Ethan Story. Jesse Stranger Skalnick. Thomas Brian Swanson. I know. Adam Tabitzada. Logan Philip Tenner. Emily Lynn Steplansky. Alexa S. Toledo Abreeze. Amanda Trifon. Stephen Solis. Shannon D. Turner. Jeremiah Uloa Franco. Brianna Umana Moran. Luisa Valencia Castana. Roberto Rocco Vanacore. Elias Vargas. Diego Vasquez Castelleon. Maximo A. Vasquez Fuentes. All right, moving along. Kenya Velasquez. Yasli Estelina Velasquez. Heidi Vigil. Andrea A. Vigil Morales. Lindsay Toom Braun. Chelsea Volatoro Alfaro. Carlos Volatoro Flores. Elsis Volatoro Madrid. Juliana Nicole Vilela. Luis Velorio. Victor Velorio Ortega. Michael Vittoria. Bryce Vorback. Riley E. Wagner. Aiden John Wallace. Anaya Simone Walters. Jaden N. Wedner. Grace Weigel. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Liam Weigel. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education Vice President Laura Carey. Jeremiah T. Wharton. Brianna Whalen, accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Brianna Francine White. Alexa Wilbrick. Courtney J. Wilkerson Ferguson. John Williams. Diploma to be presented by South Huntington Board of Education member Michelle DeGatano and accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Samaya Williams. Ashley Winch. Maximilian S. Yeager, accompanied by a family member who is an employee of the South Huntington School District. Alvin Yam. David Yanis Avila. Alice Yanis Ortiz. Rodinson Yanis Raimundo. Adam Yashofi. Janet Safar. Dimitra Nicole Zalitis. Michael Morales Discour. Kimone Harris.
Mr. Chiappetta, members of the Board of Education, at this point I have the distinct honor of guaranteeing you that the men and women you see before you, the men and women who have just crossed our stage, have fulfilled all the requirements for both the New York State and, more importantly, South Huntington diploma. It's with that understanding that I present them to you now as graduates of the class of 2021 Walt Whitman High School.
So now I'm going to ask valedictorian Jasmine Tai to please stand up, turn to your class, and join your class in moving your tassels from the left to the right. Congratulations. Now please everybody stand for and sing along with our alma mater.
Hails to thee, Walt Whitman, the best of schools we know. Whitman
At this time, we ask graduates to report to the South Cafeteria to get your diplomas. Graduates, please report to the South Cafeteria to get your diplomas. Congratulations.